So here we go with our insane Byzantine Empire. It is April 1942 and we could have been a bit faster, I'm not going to lie. The war with the Axis was a bit messy, but quite fun in the end. But we didn't just get the empire back, we cored most of it. The only part left to core is the area of the Balkans, and you can easily do it by diplomatically annexing your puppets here and then occupying southern Bessarabia from the Soviet Union. You got the perfect setup, you got absolutely insane templates. Something that may not be clear from here though is that we are not in the Axis, but we control the Axis. So everything that you see highlighted in the word is either under our direct control or our puppet. This is how powerful Greece can become with the right strategy and the right setup. Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. In the last poll, you all asked for a no compromise, no surrender country. And I tried. I promise I tried. You can find my live rage quit when trying Manchukuo a few weeks ago. Link in the description. Then I decided I had enough and I made this fantastic guide on how to restore the Byzantine Empire as Greece. This was a tier 4 member request and I'm actually very glad I got it because I immediately fell in love with Greece. Well, I always loved Greece, I used to spend my vacations there, but I fell in love with the old Greek focus tree, which has plenty of potential, and today I will show you an optimized strategy to succeed with it. And actually today's run has everything I like about HOI4. A challenging start, an optimized setup, cunning strategies, and then power. Unlimited power. If that sounds interesting, you are in the right place. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, but make sure to join our Discord to meet our amazing community. As always guys, if you enjoy the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing and leaving a comment. It really helps the channel grow faster. And now, let's get started. As usual guys, you can find all research and focus priorities in the description, so they will not be covered in the edited version. And the dedicated spreadsheet covering all steps in detail is available to tier 2 members in our shared folder. Test. Here is our building priority. Here is the initial building priority. And the initial military production priority. Don't forget to add MIOs, we will soon start making ships too, but we need some navy experience for that. Now in terms of the army, I'm going to disband the cavalry right away. You're watching the unedited version, I'm looking for the membership tiers to give our tier 4 members what they deserve. I'm also going to rename the templates so it's a bit easier to follow the spreadsheet. They're also, well, actually, Give me a second. Let me do that again. I'm going to rename... I'm also going to rename templates to make it easier to follow the spreadsheet, and they will be named after tier 4 members of the channel. So Vegeta will get our inf for today. Professor Gray, your name was a bit too long, so it will become Prof Gray. You will get our ALP for today, very important template, very good starting template actually, perfect. And for now that's all, we'll get a few more later. So in terms of splitting the army, I want 3 ALP and 3 Inf in one army, and the other 6 Inf in the secondary army. We can give them to a Marshal. But we will assign Marshal and Generals later on. For now, a fallback line and just train them all the way up to regular. Now I'm going to merge and train our fleet because we need 8 army... I'm going to merge and train our fleet because we need 8 navy experience. Then we can already place the king under arrest. And we can save. Now, before we start, I need to mention just one thing. There is a bit of RNG as to when what was the name? Wait a second. Venizelos. I think his name is Venizelos, though I kinda forgot. I'll talk about it later then. It's fine. Shouldn't die right away. Venizelos. Okay, let me do that again. So before we start, one more thing to mention. There is the leader that will replace this guy after the first few focuses called Venizelos. That leader is very good, but he will die at some point. When he dies, it's RNG related. It doesn't seem to be seed related, so reloading the game can change that. Now, the longer he lives, the better it is, and if he dies right away or in the first few months, then I would recommend reloading. Then I would recommend either reloading or restarting the run, because it will start affecting it a bit too much. It's not mandatory, but it's a bit better. So depending on how that goes, I will mention it again during the run. But if he dies too fast, consider restarting. Okay, at 8 now. At 8 navy experience, we can stop training our navy and we can start making some awesome empty heavy battle cruisers. Now, why are we making this design? Well, simply for naval dominance. This is the best design you can make in the game, excluding carriers, which we don't have access to get naval dominance, which is our only priority. So we dedicate all future dockyards to it, and we start adjusting trade. Now, about trade I need to mention something, because trade in this run is not as straightforward as in other runs. So I may not always mention it, you can check the unedited version. I generally adjust trade only if there is a deficit of 2 or more, or if the deficit is in terms of coal. Other stuff, I tend to ignore it. This is the leader I was talking about. at 150 political power, we are going to crush the monarchists. When picking this focus, we need to improve relations with the UK, France, Germany, and the Soviet Union. That's a bit early. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. Venizelos died. I would consider this a bit too fast, so not to affect too much the rest of the run. So what does it change, basically? It changes that you gain a lot less political power. You don't get discounts on these advisors anymore, so you pay 150 instead of 112. And what else? Probably also a bit lower on stability. It's not ideal, so in this case I will show you actually how reloading the last autosave just a few days ago should change the outcome. But if you're playing on Iron Man, of course you cannot do that, so I would recommend at that point restarting the whole run. Yeah, as you can see, this is one of those events which are not scripted, so you can even make a backup save, of course, in Iron Man, reload it, and it will fix the problem. Oh, guys, if you don't want to cheat, it's okay to continue without him. As you can see, you lose a significant amount of war support and stability, but thanks to the fact that we are crushing the monarchists, we are still able to pick partial mob when we want to, so it's fine overall. No, we actually don't pick partial mob anymore. So let me do that again. So if you guys prefer not to cheat, not to reload, it's totally fine. You will lose a bit on political power, a little bit on stability. It's not that big of a deal, but I prefer to have him for a bit longer now. If you're watching the unedited version, I hate these RNG events. They're very annoying in my opinion. They don't add much to the game. I would prefer them to be scripted and precise. As soon as we get the political power, we want to send, we want to improve relations and then send an attaché to nationally Spain. This is what I was talking about in terms of trade, so I will ignore it at this point. It's not worth using one sieve to import just one rubber and so on. And chromium is only needed for the ships, which we don't care that much about. Right, attaché to nationalist Spain. At 100 political power, we go for an improved worker conditions. Oh, why these guys are not training? Make sure everybody's training, because they love not to train despite me telling them to. Now this is the ideal scenario when you complete this focus and Venizelos is still alive, because at this point you get to pick 2 advisors with a discount. If he already died at this point, it's fine. You just get a bit less political power overall. It's not a big deal for the run. So we start with the devoted corporatist. And then if Venizelos is still alive, like in this case, we go immediately for the war industrialist. However, if Venizelos is dead at this point, you would instead pick army defense and swap the two around. So army defense first and the war industrialist later. Now we can pick army defense. And we are going to build more military factories in Attica than in the best available provinces around Attica. Later on we are going to build a few more in Attica after completing this research. So Attica remains the priority.
Διαταγές!
Now you will start getting events about fascists. Always pick what boosts the popularity of fascism. Next, we are taking a look at Japan. We want to send them an attaché as well, as soon as they declare war on China. There we go. So, relations and then attaché to Japan. This is also when we want to prioritize more military factories in Attica over the other ones. And we're also going to pick the tip of the spear spirit. This will allow us to have a few more mountaineers. So we're going to change these 3 infantry divisions into Professor Gray into Alpini division. Let me do that again. Into Professor Gray Alpini divisions. Let's go. That's not all, but we need a little bit more army experience for the next change. We need 15. There we go. So at 15 army experience, we will also duplicate this template and create a new one. So Mark, you will get our defensive template, which will be basically the same thing, but removing 3 infantry battalions, so for a combat width of 12. Next, we are going to change all of these infantry divisions into the new def template, so this 6 here, and we're going to recruit the max amount of def, which will be 16. We also want to make sure that everybody is training. Attaché to Japan. Now you can stop improving relations at this point if you want to save some political power. Since our Venizelos is still alive, we're actually doing very good with political power. But if he died a bit earlier in your run, those little things can help. Again, pick all of the fascist-friendly options here. And here we are going to pick, we shall invite the original signatories. This will make the focus fail in a few days. So the focus is cancelled. And we are now officially fascist as soon as we pick this one. So that means we get the epic mustache guy, and we lost Venizelos in any case. So at this point, whether he died or not, it doesn't matter anymore. Now what we're going to do at this point is immediately we're going to befriend the communists. Then we're going to start a justification on Bulgaria. We're going to start some anti-democratic raids. And we're going to build a naval base in Thrace, or in Thrace. I don't know how to pronounce that. Tracia. Let me do that again. And we're going to build a naval base in here. Now this naval base must be our priority. Oh, he died now. Well, that's good enough for us.
Προσοχή! Έτοιμος!
And finally, we got our basic medium tank, which means it's time to add some power to these Alpini divisions. This is the design we are going to use, although the reliability here is a bit of an overkill, I will admit that. So if you prefer, you can remove this last module entirely, or you can use a different one instead. Honestly, high reliability is generally worth it on infantry tanks because they suffer high attrition from bad terrains, especially in the areas in which we're going to fight. The production cost of 1, in my opinion, is generally worth it, but again, it's an optional module. Now, at this point, we want to decrease the production of infantry equip to only 4 factories, and everything else must go to the SPGs. These are the highest priority at this point. We also want to start adding the first battalion of SPGs to our Alpini divisions. That's another 25 army experience. A bit expensive, but definitely worth it. Let's also make them elite. Save. We're going to do something I love because we are befriending the communists, but at the same time we will start some anti-communist raids. That's very Machiavellian. I love it. So let's continue with that. And now it's time to prepare the army to invade Bulgaria. Now, to invade Bulgaria, we're going to use only the train divisions. So these other ones that just deployed are not going to be used. And we need the Alpini to do most of the work, especially because we're pushing in the mountains, but because they have the power to do so. So the infantry will be mostly protecting the front, and if we see any gaps, of course we can abuse them. We're going to also assign the field marshal. We're going to use this guy for the Alpini because we're going to use this guy for the Alpini, and then the other ones are really free, but this guy's pretty good. Now, don't forget to assign the planes. We don't have many, but Bulgaria also doesn't have many, so they help. We can now also pick the Infantry Expert.
Κατάξτε! Μάλιστα διοικητά!
And make sure to keep an eye on trade. I know it's annoying in this run, but make sure you're not in a deficit of tungsten and steel.
Κατάξτε! Μάλιστα διοικητά! Έτοιμος διοικητά! Παράγγελμα! Ακούστε! Διαταγές!
Now we can pick the military theorist, and then as soon as possible we're going to start picking land doctrines. I will show you the build right now. Also keep in mind that there is a bit of RNG as to the army experience, partially determined by when you pick the army defense, but mostly depending on the army experience you get from the attachés in nationally Spain and Japan. That's not really up to us, so we need to adapt. Now the build we're going to do is the infantry SPG build. So we start with Grand Assault. I was tempted to go Desperate Defense because of the low manpower, but I still find Grand Assault to be better in general. Then we follow with Assault Infantry, Self-Propelled Support, and Streamline Deployment. So that's the build. Now we're about to get our claim on Bulgaria. The idea is not to attack them right away. I usually prefer to have no deficit or almost no deficit in terms of SPGs. Of course, we need to attack them before the claim expires, so that's the deadline. But we can afford to wait a little bit longer.
Παράγγελμα! Ακούω!
Now at this point we can also pick the German technological patron. Very good concern. Let's go on and get it.
Βάλεις τα διοικητά.
And while we still have a deficit of SPGs, I think we are ready for Bulgaria. So let's go after them. So remember, the main push only with the mountaineers to save the little manpower we have. It's very important.
Προσοχή. Διαταγές. Διατάξτε. Διαταγές. Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση. Έτοιμος διοικητά. Διατηρήσατε την επίθεση. Άντε, άντε.
But then of course, whenever you see a gap, abuse it, send the infantry in to reinforce.
Ακούω.
Now Bulgaria loves to last stand, so if you can rush them down faster than that, well, that's ideal.
Ακούστε.
And things are looking pretty good for us right now. Just don't want to push with infantry.
Στοιχηθείτε. Στοιχηθείτε. Βάλεις τα διοικητά. Διατάξτε. Έτοιμος διοικητά. Ακούστε.
That's absolutely perfect. And this was a very smooth Bulgaria. It's not particularly challenging, but if you can do it faster, that's always better. Now, when it comes to Bulgaria, I need to mention something here. Now, technically, with the Byzantine Empire, you can core Bulgaria, part of Romania, and Yugoslavia. However, in order to do that, you would also need to take Albania and this part of Italy, so you would need to capitulate the Axis. And it's impossible, and it's very difficult to do that before the Soviet Union demands Bessarabia. After the Soviet Union demands Bessarabia, you would also need to control Bessarabia. For this particular reason, I prefer to make puppets in here. Then later on, when you attack the Soviet Union, if you want to attack the Soviet Union and core this land, well, then you can diplomatically annex the puppets. It's very easy, and you have the political power to do so. Puppets are better for now because we save manpower thanks to puppets. However, in the case of Bulgaria, I still prefer to annex this piece. So we can later on trick the Turkish to go in here and then attack them from up here and encircle some of their divisions. The other way to do that is, without this puppet, you plan a naval invasion of the port we just built in here. Now, both strategies are fine, but I prefer to go manually from here because we have good Alpini divisions. They can push effectively. So this is my favorite strategy. We are going to annex this place, and then we're going to puppet the rest with resource rights, although keep in mind we are on free trade, so most of these resources are actually going to the market and war reparations. Can confirm and we can be happy. Now, the other thing we want to do at this point is we want to build a railway to connect these supply hubs. Otherwise, this area will be detached from our capital. And this must be the highest priority. I think we can finally pick the Grand Assault doctrine. Now, at this point, we are going to use 5 army experience to create the cavalry template that we will use for garrisons for the rest of the run. Just 1 cavalry, that's enough. We can change it, and we can change the occupation law to local police force with the new cavalry template. Now we're also going to force deploy these divisions so we can start training them. Then we're going to add another SPG to infantry, and we're going to add infantry battalions for a total of 10. So 24 with this template. Of course we need 15 army experience, we don't have it yet, but as soon as possible we're going to go for this.
Διαταγές! Προσοχή! Έτοιμος διοικητά!
Now we need to set up for Turkey, and for Turkey we are going to use the army in this way. So we use 10 defensive divisions on a full back line like this, and ideally we want the Turkish army to take control of this area so we can encircle at least some of them. The Alpini divisions will be up here. This is the main area from which we're going to push. And then we get 2 groups of 6 defensive divisions ready to push into Turkey from our islands, or at least to defend the islands from the Turkish.
Let's
make sure everybody is training.
Στοιχηθείτε! Προσοχή!
And this is the final template for now. By the way, guys, this is useful because many of you asked, what do I do if I don't have enough special forces cap? This was a problem with my Turkish, this was a problem with my Ottoman Turkey run. Well, there is nothing wrong with adding infantry battalions to a mountaineer template, or even replacing some of the mountaineer battalions with infantry battalions if you don't have the cap. Of course, mountaineers battalions are a bit better, so the more you have, the better. But if you don't have enough, use infantry. There is absolutely no problem with that. Need to make sure that they are training though. That's very important. We are only now picking the focus to get the claim on Turkey, so there is some margin for error. I made sure about that, so in case you get stuck a bit longer in Bulgaria, nothing to worry about. We got it. We got it covered.
Έτοιμος! Στοιχηθείτε!
Now, this is a problem with attachés to Japan. I showed it in other guides, and it's very annoying because they will keep demanding you to recall your attachés, and you lose a lot of political power if you don't. There is a trick to avoid that, and that is to negotiate market access. They will refuse. This will make your opinion of them decrease. You can do it a couple of times if needed, and then it will not cost you any political power anymore to refuse their request. I would recommend doing this, otherwise this stupid faction will drain all of your political power. My opinion, it's a very stupid mechanic. They should allow it. They should remove this trick that we used, but allow each faction to only ask once per faction to remove the attaché.
Διατάξτε!
Now, we're going to use the fleet not for naval invasions because they are not required, but we're going to manually send it in here so they can support a little bit these divisions, at least help them defend the area. Generally, we don't want to engage the Turkish fleet because we don't have a good fleet, and especially we want to steal the Turkish fleet, so... Test, all good, all good. There we go, war with Turkey. I need more support for this, okay. Changed it. This would not be a good idea now. Wait a second, war economy might be a good idea now. We can do it a bit later, fine. Okay, so now let's see what Turkey does. Ideally, they will send quite a few divisions in this area. That's what we need them to do. Make sure that you're protecting the railway, because if they get the railway, then we are in big trouble. Come on, go there. There is no... It's not a trap, Turkey. It's not a trap. You can go. Come on. Go, go, go. Yeah, they are being a bit scared. They suspect something is wrong. They suspect something is wrong. Of course, the bigger this encirclement, the easier the rest of the push against Turkey will be. Okay, I think this is good enough. I see generally enough of their divisions in there. Now, it's not that easy to close it, but we're going to try.
Στοιχηθείτε!
Can also give them maybe a regular front line. Not yet. Yet. Now, yes.
Έτοιμος! Ακούστε!
Let's get the full planning, because this is the most important push of the war, probably. The other most important one will be in here. That can be tricky.
Ακούω!
Okay, we are good to go, I would say. So maybe we do it a bit manually as well.
Διατάξτε!
I'd say we mostly push in here with a couple of them in here as well. We also get the naval bombardment bonus here, which is great. Slow down a bit.
Προχωρείτε!
Yeah, it's looking good enough. It's looking good enough. Perfect. Not the biggest encirclement, as I was mentioning, but we're more than happy with it. Okay, awesome. I'm very happy with what we got.
Διαταγές!
Now, here they do have a lot of divisions, and this will be the other tricky push. We need to manage to get to Istanbul quickly.
Ακούω! Τους αποδούμε διοικητά!
For now, we need some time for our divisions to get back in position. And with a couple of mountaineers, we can close entirely this encirclement.
Συνεχίσατε!
No. Don't like that.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Εμπρός! Πάμε!
And we can push with the infantry to speed it up a bit. It's not a crime.
Δέχομαι πειρά!
Awesome. Everything going according to plan for now.
Διαταγές!
Except I forgot to give them an offensive here. If they can start getting some planning, that would be awesome.
Ακούστε!
And that's also perfect. Now we can assign these guys here as well. By the way, of course, another advantage of having Puppet Bulgaria here is that Romania cannot intervene in the war. So that's very, very helpful.
Στοιχηθείτε!
Hey guys, I'd like you to go a bit faster here.
Διατάξτε!
So here the goal is to rush Izmit, or at least the crossing, because that's the tricky part. And if we're lucky, we can get another encirclement by keeping these divisions busy up here. We cannot push from Bulgaria because we didn't call them, but that's still fine. Okay, let's go. No, I don't like to push up there. I like to push here instead. And this is perfect. So with these divisions, we can micro them a little bit and rush Istanbul quickly.
Αποθούμε διοικητά! Εμπρός! Πάμε, πάμε!
Okay, it's looking okay, except they do have a lot of divisions in Istanbul, so this may be tricky. Let's see how it goes.
Μάλιστα διοικητά! Συνεχίσατε!
It's looking alright. If you get stuck in here for some reason, especially after taking Istanbul, which should be fairly easy, well then that's a bit of a problem, because crossing this strait, if you don't do it like this, so rushing, is a big problem. Now, we have been saving political power, I didn't forget about it, because we want to pick this immediately after completing the focus you just saw, which is this one here. So this will get completely rid of our debt immediately. So this will get rid of our debt immediately for just 300 political power. Very much worth it. If Greece knew that they can do that to Germany, Germany's not here, but now, I think we also have enough SPGs, or almost enough SPGs, to add one more battalion to our Alpini. Let's do that. And then we're also going to bring the production of infantry equip to 10 future ones.
Συνεχίσατε!
Now let's see if we can cross the strait. That would be perfect. Okay, done, boys. This was the tricky part. From now on, the war on Turkey will be a lot easier. Now we can set up our SPGs mountaineers in here and get ready to extend our area of control around here, as we use maybe a couple of them to completely delete the remaining Turkish divisions here. We can start pushing already, so we can expand a little bit here.
Τους αποθούμε διοικητά!
That's a last stand, yeah. Okay, that's a last stand. Fine, fine, I'll take your last stand.
Συνεχίσατε! Εγκαταλείψατε!
I say this for other guides, but if they ever nerf SPGs, as it seems likely, just use regular tanks. They will get the job done as well. Maybe not as easily, but they will work. Okay, we don't want to overextend here, so I will readjust this front a bit. And I would really like to get rid of these immortal people here.
Στοχεύσατε!
We do it.
Δώστε τους να καταλάβουν!
Now, of course, we are completely out of manpower. We'll need to suffer a bit with manpower. We didn't lose much in this war, but yeah, a bit is inevitable. As you can see, Turkey lost a bit more.
Έτοιμος! Έτοιμος, διοικητά! Ακούστε! Προσοχή! Ακούω!
At 150 political power, we can switch to war economy. Then keep an eye on trade.
Διαταγές!
One thing we can do at this point, I forgot, is you can pick the favorite tactic up here. That can help.
Διαταγές!
And now as soon as we're ready, we're going to start the offensive with the mountaineers first. But then later on, you will destruct some of their forces. You can already see they are leaving this part. So we can use this infantry to push into them as well. Awesome. Very happy that we got this.
Τους αποθούμε, διοικητά! Διατάξτε! Διατάξτε!
And now you can see they moved away from here. We can push in here as well. Now Turkey will escalate quickly. They seem to resist a lot, but then eventually they will go down very fast.
Συνεχίσατε! Έτοιμος!
We can now merge back these infantry divisions. Just one big front line here.
Μάλιστα, διοικητά!
And merge back also the last few we had in there. So now we have just one big front line.
Προσοχή! Ακούστε! Συνεχίσατε! Μάλιστα, διοικητά! Έτοιμος, διοικητά! Έτοιμος, διοικητά! Έτοιμος, διοικητά! Διαταγές! Προσοχή! Οπισθοχωρήσατε!
We can continue with our land doctrines.
Ακούστε! Ακούστε! Μάλιστα, διοικητά! Εμπρός! Ακούστε! Διατάξτε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Παράγγελμα!
Close this pocket and then basically the war will be over.
Μη σταματάτε! Έτοιμος διοικητά! Διατάξτε! Διατάξτε!
We can now pick war bonds.
Προσοχή! Τους αποθούμε διοικητά! Εμπρός!
Done. Okay, it's time to rush down the last few victory points required to finish the war.
Προσοχή! Ακούω! Ακούστε! Παράγγελμα! Έτοιμος!
I don't want to be out of fuel. It's very important to have fuel, so I will start importing some. Can adjust it depending on your needs.
Διατάξτε!
Okay, I'll start a push here.
Ακούστε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Διατάξτε! Μάλιστα διοικητά!
And I'll start pushing with everybody to speed it up.
Συνεχίσατε!
Also, we can rush victory points. Turkey doesn't have an army anymore.
Έτοιμος διοικητά! Έτοιμος! Προσοχή! Παράγγελμα! Έτοιμος! Έτοιμος! Στοιχηθείτε! Ακούω!
I think we should be done. Yeah, we're done. Good job. Turkey is down. Turkey is down. Now, Turkey will be cored immediately, so we're just going to annex them entirely and take their navy. And then as soon as that is done, it's already time for Byzantium. It's already back. Byzantine Empire here in 1939. That's good, but we are not done yet, of course, with this run. We have plenty more to do. Now, the next target will be Romania, and we're going to call Bulgaria in order to get it done. We have some time to prepare a little bit better, although our mountaineer divisions are already very good, and they will carry on the main push from here. This is the only place without a big river crossing right away, so this is the initial goal.
Διαταγές!
But now we also have infinite manpower, or at least we have a lot of manpower because we cored all of Turkey. So we are going to make some adjustments to our army. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change back all of these defensive divisions into our infantry divisions. Then we're going to recruit to have a total of 24 inf and 24 def. So that's going to be 2 infantry divisions and then a lot of def. For now we can only recruit 21, then we'll adjust it back later.
Παράγγελμα!
We're going to position our new infantry divisions ready to push into Romania.
Ακούστε!
Now we will need to adjust trade quite a bit because we got a lot of new factories. We can now adjust these two.
Παράγγελμα!
And overall we are doing very good here. Now what we need to change is we need a lot more support equip, so we're bringing it to a production of 4. We take it from our SPGs and we adjust the required trade.
Έτοιμος!
Also, it looks like we can already bring the Mountaineers to 4 medium SPGs, so we're going to do that. And we're going to add another infantry for a combat weight of 30.
Ακούω! Προσοχή!
Like we did earlier, we can use the Navy to provide some shore bombardment where needed. In terms of military factories from now on, in terms of buildings from now on, the priority in terms of buildings will be free, but I of course would recommend building in the highest... No, let me do that again. From now on, the building priority is free. Build in the best available provinces for military factories. I would recommend building in the puppets to decrease their autonomy later on.
Προσοχή!
Now we've got a bit of training to do here.
Μάλιστα, διοικητά! Έτοιμος, διοικητά! Παράγγελμα! Ακούστε!
Okay, no more deficit in terms of SPGs, meaning I think we can start our push into Romania. I'll stop training this division, so they're almost done. Let me check something here. Let me check if I am on time or late. Yeah, basically we are perfectly on time. I guess I attacked them a little bit early last time, but it's just 1 week. So very good, very good. All very good. Okay, so we call Bulgaria into the war, and we immediately start the push with our Alpini. Now they have a lot of divisions here, but it doesn't matter because our SPGs are already absolutely insane and unstoppable. Now manpower is still limited, so we're going to switch to extensive conscription at this point.
Συνεχίσατε! Παράγγελμα! Διατάξτε! Οπισθοχώρηση!
And that's our mountaineers doing their job very well, I would say. This is very important because it allows us to bypass the river and to get supplies from this harbor. So this helps massively. Now, as soon as you get the anti-air that we just unlocked, we're going to start producing it. A total of 3 factories from the SPGs. And we're going to add it to the mountaineers right away.
Στοιχηθείτε! Έτοιμος! Διατηρήσατε την επίθεση! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Διαταγές! Παράγγελμα! Έτοιμος διοικητά! Εγκαταλείψατε!
Things are going very well in Romania. Very well. Very happy with what I'm seeing. Although we still need a bit more oil, so let's get the oil. We don't need the navy anymore. Now, taking Bucharest from this side is awesome because you will send all of these divisions completely out of supplies because they don't have any supply hub in this area, which makes it very painful for us to push, but also very painful for them to defend.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
So now we're going to change our approach and push entirely this area and then rush Cluj from up here. That's what I found to be the easiest way to push into Romania.
Μάλιστα, νικητά! Προσοχή! Διατάξτε!
That's a bit too many. Guys, make sure you don't run out of fuel. SPGs, of course, like all tanks, require fuel. So if needed, import some more fuel from the Soviet Union. This is steel, but I'm importing 3 at the moment, and it seems to be good.
Διατάξτε! Ακούω!
is in the Axis. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Έτοιμος. Προσοχή.
Let's go.
Εμπρός. Παράγγελμα. Τους αποθούμε διοικητά. Μάλιστα διοικητά. Διατάξτε. Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση.
We even got a very nice encirclement here. That's perfect.
Έτοιμος διοικητά. Οπισθοχώρηση.
Maybe time to go to Cluj.
Διαταγές.
Who the fuck is going... Why is this guy down there? The hell? They're pushing everywhere except where you should.
Μάλιστα διοικητά. Έτοιμος διοικητά. Οπισθοχώρηση. Στοιχηθείτε.
That's a very smooth and painless push of Romania. Romania, when you get up here in the mountains, can be incredibly tough. But with these awesome divisions we got,
Ακούστε.
everything is easier. Okay, we got Cluj, that should be it. And that's it. Perfect. Very good, very good. So same thing we said about Bulgaria, you can annex them, but not now, so I prefer to puppet them. I mean, you can core them, but not now, so I prefer to puppet them. Okay, now there is a part of the run where there can be a bit of RNG, because my next target is usually Hungary at this point, followed by Yugoslavia, and then nationalist Spain. Now, nationalist Spain is fascist, so nobody is going to... It's actually, yeah, it's fascist. So nobody's going to guarantee them, you can always invade them, and that's the very important part for the run. Hungary and Yugoslavia, in theory, they could be guaranteed by the Allies. In theory, once World War II starts, they could even join the Allies. However, in my experience, and this seems to be pretty consistent, if you did not reload the game, at least not after starting this series of wars, and you wait for World War II to begin before you justify on Hungary, so in just 1 month, then the UK does not guarantee Hungary and Yugoslavia, and you can freely expand in here. We're going to give it a try. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. You don't even need Hungary, you cannot core Hungary. You need Yugoslavia, but if you cannot take Yugoslavia now, you can take it later on from the Axis. It's no big deal. So, either way it's fine, but if we can take Hungary and Yugoslavia, that's of course better. So now we're going to make some more changes here in the sense that the width is right, but I want them to only have 6 mountaineers in total. So this should be the new template. And that's because in this way we should be able to get a few more. We're also going to force deploy everything, and we're going to recruit the last 4 def we need. And this way we can get a couple more Alpini divisions, or start recruiting at least a couple more divisions.
Έτοιμος διοικητά. Έτοιμος.
We're going to prepare our infantry and Alpini to invade Hungary, assuming that we can invade Hungary.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση. Έτοιμος. Διαταγές!
No, maybe not here because we're going to lose that. That's not a great idea.
Διαταγές! Ακούω! Παράγγελμα!
Now these new divisions, I want to force deploy them as soon as possible and start training them. There we go, so this is a World War II time, and we'll give it a couple of days, but then it should be safe to start a justification on Hungary, probably because the UK has bigger issues to worry about. We'll take a look. Now we're also going to pick army regrouping and decisive battle expert. And as we pick decisive battle expert, we're also going to start training all of our navy up to regular. And make sure you have enough fuel for that.
Παράγγελμα!
So I'll make a save and justify on Hungary, and let's see how it goes. I'm also going to create an agency at this point. This is also optional. I will get 5 upgrades and use the spies to spy on Spain and later on the UK. Optional because we will not do any operations, so this is optional.
Διατάξτε!
I'd like you to notice how we have now 5 research slots with a plus 28% research speed. The Byzantine Empire is very good.
Μάλιστα, διοικητά!
You know, do some more anti-democratic raids, why not? After all, we hate democracy. In the game, of course. And so far it's looking good, just need to last a few more days without guarantee. So at this point, rather than continuing with the main doctrines, we pick the first Mountaineer doctrine so we can recruit a couple more Alp divisions. That's a higher priority.
Παράγγελμα! Διαταγές!
All good, boys. We got the claim on Hungary. No guarantees. As I mentioned, this is usually the case if you didn't reload and you start the justification after the beginning of World War II. It's important. If you do it before the beginning of World War II, they get guaranteed. And by the way, at this point we can also add the Rangers to our Alp. And as soon as possible, we'll also add the logistics company.
Ακούστε!
So let's go after Hungary. We need to call Romania, of course, and we want to push them faster because you never know. I mean, they shouldn't join the Axis. In theory, they don't. But, you know, the faster you capitulate them, the better. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's do it fast. And by the way, at the same time, we want to start the justification on Yugoslavia as well. Yeah, last stand. Of course, last stand.
Δώστε τους να καταλάβουν! Ακούω!
Should be done, no? Yeah, definitely done. Hungary taken care of. Going to puppet them. As we get ready for Yugoslavia. Against Yugoslavia, I prefer usually not to call Romania and Bulgaria, so we push with the infantry and tanks from up here. And you can push with the defensive army from down here. Yeah, free trade is incredibly annoying, but it is powerful. Make sure to upgrade the SPGs when needed.
Διαταγές!
Logistics for our Alpini.
Διαταγές!
I once again force deploy the Alp divisions as soon as possible.
Στοιχηθείτε!
Maybe too paranoid. Paranoid, I keep checking. Turkey didn't develop their land at all. Disappointing.
Παράγγελμα!
Now we'll actually get a decent fleet in this run, so I like going with the fleet in being. I'll take the 5 political. I can afford to take the 5 political. No! I'll not do it. Fuck. Guangxi Cliché. Clique. Whatever the fuck your name is. Fuck you.
Έτοιμος! Στοιχηθείτε!
Ah, very sad. Yeah, very sad. Okay, it's a no Yugoslavia for us in this case. That's fine. This can happen. I'll not reload. I'll take the guarantee here. So it's going to be a little bit annoying later on when we fight the Axis. But then I mean, we can take Yugoslavia at any point. In fact, we can probably take them together with the Allies if we really want to. We just get a claim on them just before invading the UK, or when invading the UK. So we give up on our claim here. How close was it? 10 days, boys. We almost got it. 10 days, but it's fine. So we give up on that and we focus on Spain instead. Now we're going to make some changes, the final changes to these divisions. For the Alpini we want 6. 6. 6. So this is the final insane template for our Alpini. 36 with absolutely crazy stats. And this way we can recruit one more. And then, although we need a bit more SPGs, I will start adding one of them to our infantry. So even the infantry will have some firepower.
Στοιχηθείτε!
So we're going to wait for landing craft and then we're going to plan our naval invasion of Spain.
Ακούστε! Στοιχηθείτε! Έτοιμος διοικητά! Προσοχή! Διατάξτε! Ακούω!
There we go, landing craft, time to plan our naval invasion. Of course, if you had the claim on Yugoslavia, you would have taken Yugoslavia very quickly during this time. You would be more or less with the same timing for Spain.
Ακούω! Έτοιμος! Διαταγές! Διαταγές!
So, first of all, we're going to use our mountaineers to invade... Why can I not do that? Because they were on a fallback line. Okay. So, first of all, we're going to use our mountaineers in 2 groups of 5 to invade this area here.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
And then we're going to use all of our infantry as well.
Έτοιμος! Έτοιμος διοικητά!
And go with groups of 10.
Διατάξτε! Διατάξτε! Ακούω!
And get a good chunk of the coast of Spain. Of course, I forgot to get the other departments. Now, at this point, we also want to start getting the supremacy we need. We only need it in these 2 regions. I just go with a very basic setup. I split the fleet into 2 groups, dead stocks, whatever, and set them on patrol in the 2 required regions. Make sure to click the icon here so they go to the right closest base to do that.
Προσοχή! Ακούστε! Προσοχή! Ακούστε! Παράγγελμα!
Oh, by the way, at this point we can also pick the... Where is it? Yeah, so at this point we can also pick the elusive gentleman, since we have a lot of political power that we are not really using. It's also free, up to you, but you can pick some of the other advisors. We don't need that much political power anymore.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Ακούστε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
Okay, we got a claim on Spain. The naval invasion will be ready in about 20 days. When it's ready, we go.
Μάλιστα, νικητά. Στοιχηθείτε.
Invasion ready. Time for Spain. So trigger the invasion right away, and let's see, but generally speaking it should trigger. Yeah, so you don't have to worry too much about naval supremacy. Though with the empty heavy hulls we built, it should be easy to get naval dominance even honestly, let's say. Now we can use the fleet, or at least part of the fleet, on naval invasion support. We actually lost something. What did we lose? Destroy. It's annoying. More anti-democratic raids, more!
Παράγγελμα! Διαταγές!
It looks like everything is going smoothly, as it should, as it should.
Διαταγές! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
Except I would really like not to lose my fleet if possible. That's more important than defeating Spain. And continue and get some nice soft attack on our SPGs. And finally complete our doctrines. Next, we're going to pick logistical focus, and then we're happy.
Πρόσοχη! Έτοιμος!
Okay, so in here we set up things so that our infantry army can now push. They are armored as well, so we don't need to hold back. We can just push with everyone.
Έτοιμος!
Spain is always Spain, even when you're pushing them. So actually, the faster, the better. Before we end Spain, though, we want to start a justification on Vichy France. That's quite important. So let's not forget about that.
Προσοχή! Ακούω! Κατάξτε!
Lost 12? Lost a lot of convoys. Not cool.
Μάλιστα διοικητά. Ακούστε. Έτοιμος. Ακούω. Έτοιμος διοικητά. Διατάξτε. Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση. Έτοιμος. Προσοχή. Προσοχή. Ακούστε.
Okay, I think Spain is looking good enough. We can start our justification on Vichy France now.
Προσοχή.
Except this guy is immortal.
Έτοιμος. Παράγγελμα. Άντε, άντε. Ακούστε. Παράγγελμα. Παράγγελμα. Έτοιμος. Μάλιστα διοικητά. Έτοιμος. Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση.
Alright, no more Spain. Now here we're going to annex Granada so we can later on invade Gibraltar easily, and the rest up to you, but I like to balkanize Spain since they don't have cores, so they deserve to be balkanized. And let's take their navy. Annoying navy. What I like about this is also the fact that this Spain doesn't even have a leader portrait. It has nothing. I love it. Okay, next target, Vichy France. So let's get ready for Vichy France. So for Vichy France, we're going to push from here. This is the Catalan state with our SPG and with our regular infantry. Then we're going to move our def in here because we need victory points in North Africa, and it's much better if we can avoid naval invasions, so we're going to do it manually from here. And then we're going to use this puppet army that we have here to push into this area here. I just noticed that the Germans took this area. How did they do it? It's a bit annoying because this is one of the areas in which we can push and get some war score, and if they are there we cannot push and get war score. I don't know how they got it, but yeah, I guess good job Germany. Now let's merge and repair our fleet, since we're not going to use it against Vichy France anyway. And this is also a good time to join the Axis. Of course, we cannot invade Vichy France if we are not part of the Axis. And since we are fascist, that's no problem at all. Of course, we don't want to join their war against the Allies just yet, otherwise Vichy France will join the Allies, which is not cool.
Έτοιμος διοικητά. Στοιχηθείτε.
And now we can focus all of our spies on the UK.
Έτοιμος!
Boys, I will fucking import one rubber because I don't want to see that anymore. And at least I get the message when I should.
Μάλιστα νικητά! Μάλιστα νικητά!
We took some casualties against Spain. Spain is always annoying. Spain is always annoying. That was huge because this was the switch for sure to the new howitzer. So that's a lot more expensive, but the SPGs are a lot better too.
Έτοιμος νικητά!
No, stop this thing, fuck's sake.
Ακούστε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
Will the Germans be able to hold on to these? Looks like they may be able to. Let's pick the last advisor here. Let's pick logistical focus, always very good. That's a lot. Why do we like these people so much? We don't.
Ακούστε!
Okay, boys, Vichy France time. Easy war, nothing to worry about here. So, war on Vichy France. We need to call them, or we cannot push. And we need to call this no portrait Spain, so we can push in Africa. And then what we need to do is we also need to declare war manually on these guys here. Manually push a bit better here. And especially in here, we need to be sure that we are pushing these victory points because there is actually nothing down here.
Μάλιστα νικητά! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
Okay, here is our Romania giving up on Bessarabia. That's good for us, but of course that also means we cannot core this area, which we couldn't anyway because we don't have Yugoslavia at the moment. It's fine.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση. Ακούστε.
And this should be almost over.
Έτοιμος.
In fact, I think it should be over. Yeah, one more victory point. Yeah, that's done. Easy Vichy fronts and very important Vichy fronts, because as long as you have by blood alone, that means taking the entire Vichy France fleet, which is very good. Not only though, we need to be careful here because they actually own some cores that we want to annex. So the cores are these two provinces here, everything in here. And that's about it. But I also like to annex Savoy, so later on we can invade Italy from here. One second, let me check the map just to be sure that I didn't miss anything, but yeah, that's all. That's all. Okay, then you have to make another choice about Vichy France, in the sense that if you puppet Vichy France, or if you take this land in any case, you will have issues with Japan demanding it and attacking you later. I usually don't care and I do it anyway, but if you want to avoid problems with Japan, you can ignore entirely this area and not take anything there. In my case, I like to actually Balkanize them, so I proceed with that. No, these ones maybe don't matter. Take the navies, that's the most important part, and we are done with Vichy France and ready for the final challenge. Not the final challenge because we're also going to take down the Axis in this run, but I would say the main challenge, which is as always invading the UK. Now luckily with the French Navy we have a pretty decent navy that should be able to get the job done, but I always recommend making a backup save. Even in Iron Man, manually make a copy of your save file before you invade the UK. Because after no compromise, no surrender, there is always a lot of RNG involved. That's not all, we're also going to check our situation with SPGs, which is awesome, and we're going to add more SPGs if we can, and we definitely can. Maybe we can even add 2 more, let me see. Yeah, that's perfect. So 2 more SPGs to our inf. We're also going to add some anti-air as soon as possible to our inf. Okay, now we want to move our fleet entirely to the usual harbor up here in the Netherlands, ready to get supremacy or dominance in the North Sea. We're going to use our SPGs to quickly take Gibraltar from here. That should be no problem. We're going to prepare our infantry divisions up here in Germany, ready to naval invade as well, and we're going to train them in the meantime.
Μάλιστα, Νικητά.
The last two armies here, the Puppet Army and the Death Army, are free, although there is a chance that Iraq joins the Allies, so it may be wise to cover that front. Or in any case, as you can see here, now the Axis is finally losing. I'm very happy to see that. So we can push the Allies with our Death and with our Puppets in here. That can be very good. I wonder how they can attack there, since they technically am not at war, but okay. Now, the other part that you should defend theoretically is Rodi, because the Allies took it, but the Axis and Italy should be able to do it. If not, send some puppets to take care of that. So let's start our justification on the UK. This will be a fast one, but make sure that the fleet is entirely in position before you do anything. We can pick torpedo primacy and then follow up with night fighting, so our navy actually has a chance to fight. Okay, we got the claim. Let's check if the navy is in position. Not yet, but almost. Now the navy is in position. Now we need to make some other minor adjustments here. Well, first of all, of course, we need the navy to have access to this region. But we also want to stop all of these, or to block all of these sea regions. This is for several reasons, but mainly because this way the supplies will have to go via land to Germany, and this helps with supplies in this area. You see, like, our fleet was completely out of supplies, and now they suddenly have supplies because the game is stupid and they send supplies where they shouldn't. Yeah, the Axis is pulling back though. Unlucky, unlucky.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση. Έτοιμος.
So from now on, we will not need early heavy ships anymore. So once we finish the last one, we're just going to make convoys. And other than that, I would say that everything seems good. So I think we can declare war on the UK. Oh, these guys did not get there at all. Yeah, that's not very good. That's not very good. But these people are there, so that's fine. We can do something with them instead. Okay, in any case, as soon as we get into the war, we want to push Gibraltar quickly. That's perfect. Easy. And now we can start planning our naval invasion of the UK. Exclusively from this harbor, and we target the Newcastle Hull area. I'd recommend targeting them, especially with the best divisions we have available. Make sure they go to the harbors. And then again, groups of 10. And the last one of 4. Same harbor, but here you can cover the entire coastline. What's wrong with them? And you can even naval invade them up here. So this will split them around a bit more.
Διατάξτε! Στοιχηθείτε! Ακούστε!
Yeah, this looks good enough, and in the meantime we can keep training them a bit more. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any planes, but the few planes we have we can assign to our army. Now, I'm very excited to show you the new setup I have in mind for this naval invasion, and it will work very well with the Navy, but yeah, I'll show you in a bit. Just don't run out of fuel. Import as much fuel as needed. Be full with fuel. Don't have problems with fuel.
Στοιχηθείτε! Προσοχή!
Now, where the fuck are you going? What's that? Yeah, because I blocked these ones too. Okay, no, unblock this one.
Καταγιές! Καταγιές!
Okay, so Iraq is actually joining the Axis, that's fine.
Ακούστε! Έτοιμος! Προσοχή! Μάλιστα, διοικητά!
Okay, the naval invasion is ready, and okay, Yugoslavia will be part of the war.
Διατάξτε!
And that means they will be part of the peace conference as well, which is not bad. The problem is I was not defending this part here, so it's a bit tricky. So it's time to get us the dominance we need. Oh wait, there was something missing there. This is not the entire fleet. Where is the rest of the fleet? That's it. It's that one, okay. That one, okay, but where is the rest of it? Where is my fleet? No, it's here. They didn't go there. Why? Why? Why not? They... So incredibly annoying. Okay, part of the fleet was not there. I missed it. Luckily, we control Gibraltar, so we can send them back. And we can block these sea regions again. Hopefully they will not get intercepted on the way, because that would not be ideal. Like what happened to that ship that is gone. Completely gone. Okay, the rest of the fleet got there safely. This was a big mistake on my part. Now, let me show you the proper setup though. So the idea here is we set them on do not engage. That's quite important. And then we set the entire fleet, big dead stock on patrol in here. But it's very important that you make a backup save, because one unlucky engagement and it's GG. And you don't want that. The other thing you want to do is you want to trigger the naval invasions immediately as soon as you get the dominance required. Let's see if we get it. Stop sending stuff through there, please. Didn't we declare war? We are not in this war though. Okay, let me see if I can join this war, because I would like to. I'd like to be part of this. So we can get some score in here, which would be nice. And yeah, I guess from here we need to give up on taking the land for ourselves. That's a bit unfortunate because it will make this more expensive to claim. It's very, very rare. Usually the Axis cannot take that land, so. But it's okay. Now let's keep an eye here, because this is the important bit.
Έτοιμος διοικητά.
Really? Macedonia, yeah? Okay, okay. Take it. Fine. It's fine. My puppet anyways. So far here it's working, and as you can see the idea is to get the dominance very quickly, and the death stock is still the best way to get dominance. Do not split off submarines though. That was something I was trying to do, but if you split off submarines, the UK is much more likely to counter you, and that's not great. And it looks like the naval invasion triggered already, so we got the dominance, awesome. At this point, we split off the submarines. We assign them to a new fleet. You can give them an admiral, but it doesn't matter because we're going to split them as much as possible into groups of one. And then we're going to set them on convoy raiding all around the UK, but not in the North Sea. In fact, we can extend the convoy raiding a bit more. We can convoy raid all of this area here. And this will make it very difficult for the UK to send back their divisions. Now, this is going to be painful for us. We will lose probably most of these submarines, but we don't really care. We can unblock this sea region, and the rest of the fleet we can set the destroyers, split them in two groups. We can set them on naval invasion support, and the rest can be on strike force. And if we can engage a little bit, even if we lose part of the navy, it's fine. It will help our war score. So now let's see what happens. By the way, at this point, of course, we want the submarines to always engage. And the rest of the fleet, we don't need it to never engage. We can engage at medium risk, especially if we want to get some damage in. This will also drain the fuel of the UK and keep their navy busy. Is Bulgaria going to take everything? I'm okay with that, I'm okay with that. It looks like here we're doing a good job as well. Nice. Disembarked here already. We disembarked here already. Now, timing, as always, is important, extremely important. Do not slow down your push in the UK. Manually control your divisions and push right away as much as possible. Things are going very well in here. Now, I know there was a way to prevent the Axis from coming here, but I always forgot how it was. If anybody knows, this will be edited out probably, but if you know, tell me how to prevent the Axis from using my harbors here. I wouldn't like them. I don't want them. Okay, after the first forces disembark, you can use the mountaineers to push the south of the UK. And I usually focus the other army on pushing in the north of the UK. But either way, I push right away with both. And of course, we want to cut them off as fast as possible.
Ακούω! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Παράγγελμα!
Perfect. Lovely stuff in here. Oh, Trotsky is alive.
Προχωρείτε!
That's crazy.
Δώστε τους να καταλάβουν!
What's
Στοιχηθείτε!
going on in this run?
Δώστε τους να καταλάβουν!
Look at our submarines doing their job, Taking some casualties, but doing their job. No, that's not good.
Υποχώρηση! Πάλι στα διοικητά!
That very important here to pick night fighting as soon as possible.
Ακούω!
It's funny that the Axis could not take this place at all.
Παράγγελμα! Ακούω!
You're struggling a bit here. Okay, it's maybe time to reassess the situation here a bit.
Εμπρός! Πάλι στα διοικητά! Παράγγελμα! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Έτοιμος διοικητά! Πάλι στα διοικητά! Στοιχηθείτε! Προσοχή! Στοιχηθείτε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Εμπρός! Μάλιστα διοικητά!
Okay, we can go back to pushing with the mountaineers here. I think we're ready.
Ακούστε!
Well, I would like these guys to focus entirely on the north.
Στοιχηθείτε!
Yeah, they're without supplies, but we cannot push them anyway. Why? Yeah, country my ass.
Παράγγελμα! Ακούστε! Παράγγελμα! Διατηρήσατε την επίθεση!
Still like the supplies ideally to go through here. That's better.
Διαταγές! Ακούω!
How is Yugoslavia still alive in all of these? That's insane. We're attacking it from all sides except the right one.
Εμπρός! Πάμε! Πάμε! Έτοιμος διοικητά!
Look at these Hungarian trucks. Awesome.
Στοχεύσατε! Διατάξτε!
Oh, now we're starting to kick in. And by the way, let's see, because they may have something good. Oh, well, plan attack is not the best. They don't have the best rates, unfortunately, these guys. We're already buying a lot. So ideally we would like to build up a bit more war participation if possible. If not, it's okay. What we are not taking from the allies we can take later on from the Axis. That said, the more we can take now, the better. I don't think we can push these guys here actually.
Στοιχηθείτε! Διαταγές!
Maybe we can get a bit more cocky with the navy. I'm thinking about doing that and add this place as well to the sea regions we want to cover. Even if we lose a bit of the navy, it's okay.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Διατάξτε!
No, that's not very good.
Πάμε! Πάμε!
Here is where you need to push, not there.
Ακούω! Άντε! Άντε! Στοιχηθείτε! Διατάξτε!
Okay, the northern part of the UK is entirely under our control. Now we can send the infantry down here. That's not the infantry, but okay. We can send the infantry down here. Probably got some casualties, but casualties are good in this case because they give us some more score, which is very important. Wow, look at these. We're pushing them in Africa. But we still haven't taken Belgrade. That's crazy. Okay, let's go, let's go. I think it's time to end it.
Ade! Ade!
Ideally, while causing a bit more casualties. How close is the UK? The UK is not that close to going down now because we haven't taken London, but we will take London very soon. Yugoslavia is down. And now I think we might be very, very, very close. Yeah, one more victory point and the UK is over. One guy was in that island. The Axis cannot do anything useful. It's over! 15%, okay, could have been a bit better. Now, one of the main reasons why we only got 15% is that this push here was not considered our push, because the Axis was able to take these two territories before we pushed. It's okay anyway, if you can get a bit more, that's better. But we will get what we need to actually core this area, so that's perfect. So let's start with the part that we can core, and so we want to annex, which is right here. And all the way down here. So this part here can be cored, and I would highly recommend making a puppet down here. So to avoid having a border with the Axis that then you would need to defend. There is nothing else you can core in here, although maybe Malta, I don't think so, but I'm going to annex it just in case. And we can puppet Gibraltar, so we have full control of the Mediterranean Sea from now on. Then what we're going to do with the UK is, since annexing them is significantly cheaper than puppeting them, we're going to puppet them somewhere, just so we have the UK puppet. And then we're going to annex as much of the UK as possible. Ideally, we should be able to annex all of it. In fact, I still think we can annex all of it, despite only having 15% of the score. Then there is also the area of Yugoslavia, which is usually not part of this peace conference, that we may need to take a look at. Ideally, we want to puppet at least a little bit of it. It's nice that Romania takes part of it, but so we avoid the direct border with the Axis in here. That's better. Okay, the UK is taken care of. Now let's take care of this area here. Ideally, I would really like to puppet them. And we can leave them that bit there, it's not important. And then normally I would like to puppet British Malaya because it's very good, but since we don't have a lot of points and Japan is annoying, maybe we're not going to do it this time. Yeah, I think we can give up on this stuff and take it later. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. That's fine. So the Axis has 2 beats in here in the middle of our puppets. If they're happy that way, good for them. Now let me make sure that the allies are completely gone. It looks like after a no compromise, no surrender, the AI does a bit of a better job at taking them down completely, so I don't think there is anything left. That's good. Yeah, so I think we can focus on taking the navy. Good. I am happy. Let's continue. Very nice stuff. Let's see if we did everything correctly. We should be able to get some cores. Where is it? Ah, no, because we haven't picked a focus yet, of course. The next focus will be Byzantine Themata, which will give us the possibility to core this area. So then we're going to get our cores in here. But no rest for the wicked. I'll do that again. But no time to rest because it's time to push the Axis right away, or almost right away. As you know, Germany now has a lot of land to cover. Ah, something I forgot is this. Yeah, annexing these two provinces would have been nice, but since we're going after the Axis next, it's okay. So they now have a lot of land to protect us, so their divisions will leave the German Reich, and if we play our cards correctly, we should be able to invade them fairly easily. Okay, so at this point, the other advantage of puppeting the UK, which, by the way, we're going to give back all of their land, we can request their forces and get a huge amount of divisions that makes the game lag immediately. So the game go completely crazy. But this way we get some new, entirely new armies. We can also get a second marshal. And we can set up for the Axis. Which I need to check. Another very good thing about puppeting the UK, and a helpful thing as well, is that now we can import from the UK. Yeah, we need to adjust the production a little bit at this point, though. Otherwise there is not enough, probably, resources in the world. So we're going to add our anti-air, rangers, and logistics to Inf as well, and we're going to bring them and 4 is wrong. That's 28. Let me see how many SPGs I have. Yeah, enough. Definitely enough. And then probably, let me see. Yeah, definitely. So we're going to adjust our infantry template to be basically the same as the mountaineers at this point. And we're going to save it. Then the production, we bring everything to 5. Infantry to 50, we take them from the SPGs. Then it's free at this point, of course. We should be able to get more of this stuff when the situation is fixed. No, we don't have enough convoys, that's why. I see. But it's because they are being used for transferring troops. Okay. We can open back the sea regions. Gather back up our subs and adjust the fleet a little bit as well. Now we're going to use one spy for diplomatic pressure and to get a non-aggression pact with Japan. We're also going to improve relations with them. And the other two spies we will use on Germany as soon as possible, as soon as we leave the Axis.
Διατάξτε!
Can also recruit a couple more Alpine divisions.
Ακούω!
Alright, the main push into the Axis will be from here straight into Italy, so we can start planning it.
Ακούω!
And we can prepare the other infantry divisions to follow for now in Vichy France.
Ακούω!
The defensive divisions will be at the border with Italy here. We can defend and then, if possible, at some point we can also attack.
Έτοιμος διοικητά!
Then we're going to use these puppet divisions to push into Italy from here. Into North African Italy, of course.
Έτοιμος προς
And
αποχώρηση!
another 24 puppet divisions to push into Italy from here.
Διατάξτε! Διατάξτε! Έτοιμος διοικητά!
And we will need to... Then we will need an army to take care of Iraq. We don't necessarily need to push them, but we at least need to defend them since they joined the Axis. And the last army of puppets here is free. Keep in mind that we need to take this little bit of land here. In fact, we need to take both of them, so we can set them on a fallback line here.
Διαταγές!
And let's train everyone, and let's make sure everyone is in position before we proceed, because right now it's a bit of a mess. Good choice, Venezuela. That's a good choice. And by the way, at this point, if we justify on Germany or Italy, then we would be in trouble with Japan. And if you want to avoid Japan, stuff like Venezuela joining is very good, so you can justify on them and declare war on them instead. We're going to build in the UK mostly to counter the fact that we are importing a lot from them. Well, the division's still moving around the world.
Πάλι στα διοικητά!
Ethiopia is still alive. That's fine. I think we need to adjust this a little bit because I don't have enough convoys. Why the fuck?
Στοιχηθείτε! Έτοιμος διοικητά!
Okay, Germany will go crazy at this point and start doing weird stuff, so before they go too crazy, it would be better to take care of them. So what we're going to do is just, we're going to leave the faction and we're going to justify on anyone that is in the Axis but not Italy or Germany. That is if you want to avoid Japan. Venezuela seems fine, so we're going to go after Venezuela. Italy may also declare war on us, even if we don't do anything else, so that's fine too. What do you mean no trade route can be found? What did I block something else? No. United States just randomly has dominance. Why do I have no efficiency there? We don't know. We absolutely don't know. Okay, let's fix this thing. It's completely broken. Completely broken. What do you mean? Disgusting. This is just stupid. I don't even know what that is. Why can I not trade with the UK, which is my puppet? So when it comes to the Navy, we have a couple of options here, and that is if Germany is not at war with anyone else, like in this case, there is no particular benefit in raiding them and so on. If they are at war with somebody else, like they declare war on the Soviet Union or the United States, then you can set the Navy properly on convoy raiding and strike force, patrol and so on to take more score. But that doesn't seem to be needed right now.
Διαταγές! Ακούστε! Προσοχή!
Okay, now that we got this... we cannot because we lack something. Ah, yes, of course. True. That's why I was not taking it. We also need Dodecaneso in order to get the cores in here. But when we take Italy down, then we will be able to core Italy, core this area here, and core this area here. The only part that will not be able to core is the Balkans until we take back Bessarabia. By the way, worth noting that this requires you to control the states. It's enough to occupy them before the peace conference. So if you declare war on the Soviet Union, you take southern Bessarabia, then you can core the Balkans. As long as you have annexed these other puppets, which you can easily do right now if you wanted to.
Έτοιμος διοικητά!
Okay, so let's stop training. I would say we are ready. The important thing is this first push into Italy. Then we'll need to think about what to do here, because normally with Yugoslavia you don't need to worry about this part of the front. Unfortunately, they got a little stripe of land that allows them to connect the axis to this part here. Now, this can be used to our advantage, but it could also be tricky, so we need to be careful about that. But yeah, let's go for it. We never got this stuff. Should have taken this ages ago, actually. Okay, Italy was called into the war against us. Good enough.
Ακούω. Συνεχίσατε. Ακούστε.
Let's give it a try, see if we can take these regions by any chance. And also, I think we can definitely push in Africa.
Προσοχή.
Oh, are we in trouble here? They have a lot of divisions, but it looks like we can hold no problem. Though, just in case, maybe it's a good idea to give them some anti-air. We have a couple more SPGs to add here, if they can get there, which can be tricky.
Έτοιμος.
Where are you going to go there from there? So here we will have several fronts to cover. That's the tricky part. Germany is also involved at this point. Okay. I say we use the mountaineers to push the south of Italy. And we use the SPG infantry to take care of this area here. Then we need to make a choice about this big pocket here. Do we go down and kill them all? Or do we just rush Germany to end it? For now, let's prepare for it. Once Italy is out of the picture, then we can think about it more in a more relaxed way.
Διαταγές. Έτοιμος διοικητά. Παράγγελμα.
Yeah, so here we split the front, so we need to cover two sides, which is a bit annoying. I would like to take this supply hub, maybe even München though, before we proceed in this area.
Έτοιμος.
Yeah, I guess we could split them into two. Not ideal, but maybe necessary. What's the shortest front we can get here? Maybe something like these.
Προσοχή.
And these guys, we take some in here.
Διατάξτε!
Oh, guys, I need you to take Innsbruck. It has a supply hub. Come on, don't be idiots.
Προσοχή! Ακούστε! Προσοχή! Έτοιμος!
Okay, civil war in Italy. Let's see what happens. Game is dead. Okay. Italy is down immediately, so we don't get to transfer territory. That's okay. We still want to prioritize building in Italy if possible. That's not possible. Okay, that's awesome. Then what I would like to do is prioritize a bit the convoy production here, because we will need convoys to decrease the autonomy of Italy if we cannot build in Italy. I mean, we can always build in Italy, I guess. Just not as effectively. Now what happened here? Here it's a big mess, but I think great part of the Italian army there is gone. Yeah, but look at this absolute mess. What do we do here?
Έτοιμος διοικητά! Διατάξτε! Έτοιμος!
Are we completely out of supplies because this is not connected yet, maybe? Stop giving me 1 billion messages every 2 seconds, oh my god. Well, at least we freed completely the mountaineers, so now we can decide what to do with them. I'd like to close this area entirely, so I'll send them here. They can take care of these. Okay, we got München. Perfect. So as soon as the mountaineers get there, hopefully fast, we merge back the other armies and we keep pushing into Germany from here. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
Έτοιμος!
Oh, look at the miracles. We can trade with the UK again somehow. Not sure exactly why, but okay. Yeah, let's push here, and I see the potential for a big encirclement of whatever is down here. Not sure how many divisions are down there, but I'm eager to find out.
Προσοχή! Διατάξτε!
And find out we will very soon, although this is a complete mess. Now, if I don't manage this front properly, these guys will be split all over the place. All over the place. Horrible stuff here. I think maybe a good idea would be to merge them so we can use the northern army to cover this front. That would really help. Let's see if we can do that maybe. And then yes, push here, so we kill everything in here. Oh, they are direct. Ah, you cannot go there.
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση. Διατάξτε.
Okay, no, go down there.
Τους αποθούμε διοικητά.
Yeah, see, they are already going in bad places where I didn't tell them to go. How about Africa? How did we do here? It's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. Technically, we should be able to push. What are we doing here? Nothing. Why? Why are we doing nothing?
Προσοχή! Προσοχή!
Ah, I'm getting pushed back from here. I mean, it's good that we can retreat in there, but... Can Italy do something useful once in their life, maybe? I hate when the fronts get so messed up, like in this case. It's extremely annoying to manage. The divisions are in there and we cannot push them. What's up here? Here it's okay, we just need to take a bit more in there, come on. Here it's not really okay. The optimal path would be to push a lot more and a lot faster into Germany. What we are doing now is not optimal, but I didn't want to give up on such a potentially big encirclement down here. But at least now we unified this front, so things are a bit better up here. I don't think we want to stop this offensive at any point. Okay, big progress in here, finally. Then we can focus down there, close it. We needed that. Wait, they can go in Romania? What the fuck, Romania? This stuff needs to be fixed. You cannot give military access to my enemies in a war. It doesn't make any sense. I'm tempted to call them, but I guess I'll not do it. But it's very, very stupid. Okay, now let's take care of these guys here. Oh fuck, and this is what happens because of the stupid front line getting bogged down here. Insanely idiotic, insanely idiotic. No words, no words. What? Why are they going through? Why can't they go through Bulgaria? This is so stupid. So incredibly stupid and bugged. Yeah, come on. They're being attacked in an area which is not even at war. Yeah, game. Yeah, but let's add coal, because that's the priority, right? A big mess. Don't go through there though, you fucking idiots. Keep stopping you that way.
Έτοιμος διοικητά. Διαταγές. Στοιχηθείτε. Συνεχίσατε.
Well, this is not going exactly as planned, but it's fine. And what are they doing here? Oh. Why don't you take that? Why don't you push here? What's going on with this game? Why is everything broken? What's going on? Yeah, at least we don't have to deal with Japan right now, but...
Παράγγελμα!
Can you just push there, please?
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Μάλιστα, νικητά!
Funny that they pushed half of my country just because the front line got bugged. That's very fun.
Μάλιστα, νικητά! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
How did these guys come back here? And why did you leave them? Oh.
Ακούω! Διαταγές! Παράγγελμα!
Okay, now this front is too big and we're starting to push in the forts, so that's not good. So here we actually need to stop pushing
Διατάξτε! Παράγγελμα!
to take care of this part.
Προσοχή! Στοχεύσατε! Διατάξτε!
The time I'm wasting here. And the funny thing is not even an encirclement because they can go through Bulgaria.
Ακούω! Διατηρήσατε την επίθεση!
Okay, we took care of this area. Okay, I absolutely need some defensive divisions up here.
Διαταγές! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση! Διατάξτε! Μάλιστα, νικητά!
Why do you keep bugging all of my fronts? Dude, this is insane. This is insane. My sanity is being drained at insanely quick speed. Okay, looks like it's a bit, but it's incredibly stupid how difficult a war that is usually extremely easy, it's turning out to be.
Εμπρός! Πάμε, πάμε! Στοιχηθείτε! Ακούω!
Go back. No, don't go back. I need to push you.
Διαταγές! Παράγγελμα! Προχωρείτε! Ακούστε!
Don't go back, piece of shit. Okay, we almost fixed this problem. Did come at a huge cost for them, but yeah, get wrecked, get wrecked. You know what I'll do? I'll actually call Romania. I mean Bulgaria. No more going through Bulgaria here. Now you all die here. Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get, Germany. Show me your casualties. That's what you fucking get. Okay, now let's end this before I go completely crazy and lose my sanity entirely. Also, I'm very curious, who am I sharing the score with? Is it Ireland by any chance? Yeah, okay, 1% Ireland. It's mostly not Ireland. Iraq didn't join, by the way. Interesting.
Έτοιμος, διοικητά!
Okay, guys, we're getting back on track.
Έτοιμος! Διατάξτε!
Yeah, I forgot about the focuser. Oh, didn't even forget that much. Forgot what I was saying.
Έτοιμος!
That's not. Oh my god, what did I do here? All submarines. Oh. Dude, what the fuck is the problem? Why can I not select two? What is going on?
Στοιχηθείτε! Παράγγελμα! Διατάξτε!
That's it, Germany. I had enough of you. I really had enough of you. It's time to go down. Sadly, we gave them enough time to send back all of the army, so... Well, but at least it's a challenging war. I guess it's fair. I mean, fairly challenging. At least we had to do something. Let's put it that way. This is basically what should have happened like 3 months ago. That we push straight into Germany without having to... What? Again? How? Where? Where did they come from? This is unbelievable. Is it because I didn't take this island, maybe? It's just like a meme at this point. It's just a meme. I think they will cap faster than me. I will take the trade if needed. Damn it. Crazy. They like have 2 divisions. They didn't have a port. It's just like 2 divisions just like that. Took everything.
Μη σταματάτε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
Okay, well, how much are we pushing into Maginot now?
Διατάξτε!
My bet would be we're pushing straight into Maginot very heavily.
Διατηρήσατε την επίθεση!
Let's maybe not do that. What do you say? What do you say, boys?
Διατάξτε!
Is it finally over here? No, because they still have coast.
Διαταγές!
Are we still building in Italy? Yeah, we are. Okay, that's good.
Έτοιμος προς
This is
αποχώρηση!
time we could... Can we take... Yo,
Μάλιστα, νικητά!
yo, what? Why? Why can I not take it?
Έτοιμος προς
What?
αποχώρηση!
Why?
Διαταγές!
I cannot click there. What? What
Ακούω!
is it? What's going on? What's happening? What is happening?
Διαταγές!
They're breaking through here again.
Συνεχίσατε!
Because my divisions are not doing anything. What's going on? Literally all bugged. It's all bugged. Guys,
Διαταγές!
it's all bugged. It's getting to a point of being unplayable, this game.
Προχωρείτε! Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
No, yeah, we cannot go there. We cannot go for some crazy, absurd reason. We cannot go there. I'll just capitulate Germany and quit this game.
Έτοιμος
Quickly.
νικητά!
Quickly. Ah, okay. That's the way to go. The game fully crushed. That's the point we got to. Completely broken and then crashes. Awesome, awesome. Awesome. How much time am I wasting here? It's 1 hour wasted on the axis. It's a 30-minute. No, it's a 15 minutes kind of war. This one, insane. Okay, let's go back to when we didn't have that. Can I maybe go there now? I can. Now I can. So it was completely bugged. I literally have no words though anymore. Now can we maybe defend this front, or that part was good the way it was?
Διαταγές!
I mean, at the very least I would expect Germany to declare random wars at random people
Έτοιμος
now.
προς αποχώρηση!
Wait, we still cannot go there. There is no available land route to this province. Cannot move through straits blocked by enemy. Okay, so this straits is blocked by enemies. I see. I see. If I patrol this area, then who is blocking the straits?
Διαταγές!
It's somehow it's blocked by enemies. Okay, yeah, I see. That's good. It's fine. It's not bugged.
Ακούστε!
It's all good. Now let me rush the victory points before I go more crazy.
Μάλιστα νικητά!
Yeah, more front lines getting broken. Yes, that's what I want.
Έτοιμος προς
That's
αποχώρηση!
exactly what we needed.
Πρόσοχη!
Now, where did this guy go?
Έτοιμος νικητά!
Where are they going? Of course, I would expect Germany not going up, giving up at all. Yeah,
Έτοιμος προς αποχώρηση!
pretty much what I expected.
Διαταγές! Παράγγελμα! Διατάξτε! Διατάξτε! Διαταγές! Έτοιμος νικητά!
Better.
Ακούστε!
fact that I'm completely out of stuff to research shows you how much longer we are going here than we should have. But the last test run, it was even crazier than this. The weird stuff that started happening was beyond this one. So I guess Byzantium breaks the game. So the last time in the last test run, I forgot to annex this part. So I invaded Italy by calling Vichy France. And what happened is that Italy became a puppet of Vichy France. Like Regno del Sud, instead of being my Protectorate, was a puppet of Vichy France. Okay, then Germany declared war on Vichy France. And Italy joined against Germany. Then what happened? Yes, then no. Somehow Vichy France was no longer my puppet, but Italy was... no, I can't remember. Whatever, fuck it. It was a complete mess. Let me just tell you that it was a complete mess in which my puppets were at war with me somehow, but they were still my puppets. So it was first Vichy France, then Yugoslavia. I was able to annex them quickly that way, because somehow I could declare war on all of my puppets. But yeah, the game was just completely broken. Okay, boys, at least it's done. At least it's done. Fucking Germany, go down. You annoyed me enough. The good thing is we get basically to be the only ones in this peace conference. So that's good enough. I'll take that. Also curious about the casualties we inflicted to this stupid Germany. 2 million. Fuck you. Let's go. Let's go. 100%. 100%. Now we take everything. Fuck you. Okay, now the important bit is the part that we can core. So of course all of these, all of the parts of Italy that can be cored, which should be all of the cores of Italy. And the other ones will need to get them by peacefully annexing them. We'll also take all of this stuff. I think it can be cored. Why does Germany not have cores on Austria? That's a bit weird. Okay, the last bits that we need for the cores that we can get right now are all Regno del Sud, so we just need to peacefully annex them. The rest is entirely free. Technically, it would be better to create multiple puppets, but honestly, cannot be bothered. So I'll just puppet. Good. Very good. Now, let's take care of Italy and end this run. One thing, though, I would do at this point, especially if you continue the run, is maybe it would be a good idea to switch back from free trade, maybe even to limited exports. Because honestly, managing trade becomes quite insane otherwise at this point. So this way, we still need to manage it a little bit. But it is a lot less. And for your mental sanity, not only mine, I would highly recommend doing that. Look at this beautiful thing here. Okay, so let's take care of Italy. 400 to become a subtle and integrated puppet, and then we can annex them. So we should have the required convoys. But let's also keep building in there. One thing that I could have done, I didn't do it because usually the war with Germany is over much faster, is we got all the researchers for planes. So at this point of the run, you would definitely start making planes, but I'm not going to cover the rest of this run anyway. Rest of the run being mostly taking over the Soviet Union. I would also recommend starting your collaboration governments in the Soviet Union as soon as possible, if that's what you're going for. I don't think there is much point in covering that in the guide because it's easy. Okay, 1375. Let's see if they want trains. You should want SPGs, come on, I have some very good SPGs for you. About my awesome SPGs. I like it. So by the way, I showed this trick before, but if you lend lease, especially convoys to your puppets, then when you get to annex them, you also get back all of your convoys. So if you wanted to annex Yugoslavia, Bulgaria and Romania at this point to get the cores, then you would do the same thing. You start a lend lease, you send them the convoys, you annex them. We have the political power required for that. Then you declare war on the Soviet Union and you take southern Bessarabia and you core all of this land as well. But in the meantime, we already get the possibility to core everything else, which is Italy, all of this area here and all of North Africa here. So everything that we control directly is now our core. So here we go with our insane Byzantine Empire. It is April 1942 and we could have been a bit faster, I'm not going to lie. The war with the Axis was a bit messy, but quite fun in the end. But we didn't just get the empire back, we cored most of it. The only part left to core is the area of the Balkans, and you can easily do it by diplomatically annexing your puppets here and then occupying southern Bessarabia from the Soviet Union. You got the perfect setup, you got absolutely insane templates. Something that may not be clear from here though is that we are not in the Axis, but we control the Axis. So everything that you see highlighted in the word is either under our direct control or our puppet. This is how powerful Greece can become with the right strategy and the right setup. Boys, this is the Byzantine Empire. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because this is an awesome run and one you should try. It is challenging but fair, it's not super hard, there is not a lot of RNG involved, so it is a run that I highly recommend to everyone. That said, it was a lot of work, some of it was done live, so maybe you got an idea of how many hours I spend on making a new country guide. This guide itself, the whole packaging, I'm not done yet because there is the editing and uploading to be done. It's probably going to be close to 40-50 hours of work just to get it done. So it's a lot of work and I would really appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. It's free and it really helps. And of course a big thank you to all of the members who are financially supporting the channel and making this project sustainable. Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye bye.